Hey everyone, my name is Chloe, and today I'm here to talk about the books that I read last week. So, I have been feeling pretty good about reading. It's been a good week, so let's just jump into it. So, I'm not going to give any full-on stats for these books because I will do that at the end of the month. But I will say that this week, my average rating is 3.12, so it's been very ho-hum. And now where I'm at, I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of not slumpy, but a little bit slumpy, and so let's just get into it. So there's 3 middle grade books. So we read Dogtown by Katherine Applegate and Jennifer Sholdenko, maybe. And this is a story about, it's got very, very short chapters. It's a middle grade about Dogtown, which is basically an animal shelter. And they have both robotic dogs as well as real dogs. And so it's the friendship between a robotic dog, a real dog, and a mouse. And them also trying to grapple with the idea that their owners left them there for whatever reason and trying to understand why. And our dog, she's a girl named Chance, and she's got 3 legs. And so everybody's just kind of down on their luck, and it's a really sweet book. I will say it got a little bit long. There are times where it's funny though, and it was some jokes definitely went over my kid's head, but it was cute. And I think a sequel is coming out soon, so there's that. Then we read Stuart Little by E.B. White. We read this as a attempt at a read and watch movie thing. And so we would read a chapter. My daughter would have to notebook about it, which means she would have to write 2 sentences summarizing that chapter and draw a picture. And so for that reason, and just the reason that this is not as compelling as I would have thought. So this is about Stuart Little, who's a little mouse who was born into the Little family. And the beginning is just how Stuart gets by day to day, the way he does things being 2 inches tall. And then he decides to go on an adventure to find a bird named Margalo. And so every chapter is kind of just outlandish things that he gets up to. And it just felt a little disjointed. And none of us were super eager to pick it up after we had set it down. Like I said, my daughter was a little less motivated because she knew that she had to write sentences afterwards. And she is not a fan of writing. And so, I don't know, but overall, we all kind of agree it's a 3-star book. It was fine. Now we are going to watch the movie from the 90s maybe and see how they compare. But I don't know. This was just okay for all of us. And then last is Gooseberry Park and the Master Plan. This is number 2 in the Gooseberry Park series by Cynthia Rylant. So we read Gooseberry Park, the first one. And it is about a dog, a bat, a crab, a raccoon, a bunch of animals, and a park called Gooseberry Park. And there's a storm, and a snowstorm, and they have to save all the animals. Well, this one, there's a drought. They have to save all the animals. This one just wasn't as good for whatever reason, so there's that. And I feel this week, a lot of them, I can't even explain to you why I didn't like them. I just didn't love them. So is it me or is it the book? But those are the 3 middle grades we read. Now let's get into the adult books. So I read The Orphan House by Anne Bennett, and this follows 3 different women, one in 1934, well, 2 in 1930s, kind of wartime, and 1 in present day. And all kind of revolve around this house for orphans. And one of them is the daughter of the man who runs the orphanage. And then present day, it is the daughter of a man who was in the orphanage. So those are the 2 stories. And then there's a 3rd woman involved at the time. Okay, and so I can't say a whole lot without spoiling the connection between all of them. However, the connection was pretty obvious pretty quick. The writing style of this was just not for me, and it bored me to tears. I gave this 2 stars. I did not like it at all. I'm glad to get it off my shelves, and there we go. Then we have At Home on Marigold Lane by Debbie Mason. So this is about a part of her Highland Falls series, and I've read number 2 and number 5. I liked number 2. I gave it, I think, 3, maybe 3.5 stars. And this one I actually liked even a little bit better. However, this is a series that I think is would be much better enjoyed if you read it in order. So as much as I love this cover, and it's really hard to see, but there's a little bookstore in there, or a bookshop, or bookshelves, I guess. And it's just the cutest cover. And it was a cute story about Brianna. So Bree and Caleb. So Bree was in an accident that left her both physically and potentially neurologically disadvantaged. She has some things going on. Neurologically, she's fine. She just has headaches and things that are kind of unexplained. And so Caleb is a doctor, and they were together when they were younger. They're not now. They kind of come back into each other's lives. I thought this was super cute, but I'm going to unhaul it because I definitely think, like, we didn't get a lot of information about Bree's accident. I'm sure we would have in previous books. And I think this is one that, like, if I was going to keep it, I would need to own the whole series, and it's not a good enough series to do that. So I'm going to unhaul it. Then this one was one that I was really anticipating, The Days I Loved You Most by Amy Neff. And this ended up being a 3-star for me. So this is about two people who are almost 80, and they tell their 3 grown children that in 1 year's time, they are both going to commit suicide. One of them received a diagnosis that they are not happy with, like they don't want to kind of deteriorate in that way, and they just want death and life to be in their own hands at their own time. And the other one doesn't want to live without that one, and so in 1 year's time, they're both going to commit suicide. And we get their relationship from the 40s to present day. So it covers a lot of time. And I feel like we got, like, it was almost like emotionally manipulative in that we got, like, the really, really hard times. One of them loses a sibling in the war. And then we follow their kids at 9/11 and, like, all these things that, like, should be super emotional, and it was like, just, hey, can we get a gut punch here? Can we get a gut punch here? Can we get a gut punch here? And it didn't spend enough time, like, with character development and storyline development to actually make those impactful for me. Now, I've seen that other reviews have loved this. I do really like the commentary on life and death and what control we have and what control we don't have, and is this ours to play with? I obviously have my opinions about that, and so I wanted a certain outcome, and so that's really what kept me reading. I would say this is a 3-star book for me, but it does have a lot of commentary on marriage, and obviously they love each other so much that they're Romeo and Julieting at the end of their life, but there was a lot of really, 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 really hard times for them, both because of catastrophic things like the war, but also because of things like postpartum depression and resentment of the early years of parenting, when, you know, the roles are really murky, you know, when you're figuring those roles out as a couple and how that works. And so this definitely wasn't all sunshine and rainbows for anybody. And I like the commentary, I like the discussion, but the execution just left a little bit to be desired for me. So this is a 3-star. Then we have Grace-Based Parenting by Dr. Tim Kimmel, and I wish I would have written it in my book because I didn't write it in, I wrote it in my Goodreads review, but basically this is a parenting strategy, I guess, that relies on the notion that kids have 3 basic needs. Security, let's see. Gosh, I should look it up specifically, but actually, pause this video. I'm going to look it up. Okay, so this relies on the premise that kids have 3 basic needs: security, significance, and strength. And we, as parents, should provide that by showing them Christ-like love, and which is like Christ-like sacrificial love shows them security, giving them a bigger purpose as a creation of God, as well as showing them that they're worth our time gives them significance, and a strong hope for the future is their strength. And so grace-based homes are where you really just, like, remember that your kids are human as well as you, and you parent with grace, you know, that there's some hard lines that you draw, but otherwise there's a lot of grace because we are shown a lot of grace from God. So I love that. I love that parenting strategy. I love really pausing, like, to look at the heart of the issue and why your kids are acting the way they are. I will say this definitely gets a little preachy, he imposes his own standards and things on the reader at times. But it's a good reminder. I don't know that I'll keep this on my shelves. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. It was 3.5 stars for me. Again, just kind of meh. So far, I guess the best has been At Home on Marigold Lane or this. This is a really quick listen on audio too. And yeah, it's nothing crazy, but it does have this little, like, matrix freedom to make mistakes, freedom to be vulnerable, all the things that just reminders that you can really easily shut that down in your kids by not reacting appropriately. So there's that. Then my favorite one of the week, I would say, is The New Wife by Sue Watson. So this is a book that is about, it's told from a mother's perspective. She has a grown son named Sam. I was going to say Ben, but Sam, who is married to his like childhood sweetheart. They met at preschool when they were little, and now he just recently got married, and they live out on the moors. This is told, I can't even remember, but they live like way out in the countryside. And one day he comes home and finds his wife dead, and she fell down the stairs. However, she was not, it was not an accident. And so we follow this all from the mother-in-law's perspective, and I really enjoyed that because there's a lot that the mother-in-law doesn't know. And so the mother-in-law is a single mom who Sam's dad has never been involved, so she's always been a single mom, and just kind of not the most, I don't know, she has really been taken under the wings of this girl's parent, Lauren's parents, because they've been friends for so long, etc. So she is really close to them, and they are keeping secrets from her. Her son is keeping secrets from her. Of course, when a woman is murdered, they say it's always the husband, and so she looks to her son gets arrested, and she looks to try to like save her son, but she herself is having doubts because his dad was abusive and stuff, and so it's like, gosh, maybe. And so the whole time I'm wondering who the heck did this, and when it all comes out in the end, it made sense. It was satisfying. I would say this is 4 stars. It's short, it's under 300 pages, so I would say it's not like the best thriller I've ever read, but it's definitely one of those like popcorn thrillers. If you like Frida McFadden, if you like Kirsten Moglen, I think you would really like this book, because if you really think about it, yes, there's some plot holes, yes, there's some this and that, but I was thoroughly entertained and read this really quick, and so definitely recommend this. So this is the best read of the week. So let me know if you've read any of these books. If you are interested in any of them, they will be on Pango here soon, because a lot of these are very meh for me. So meh has kind of been September, but here's to hoping that this week is better. So we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.